Yes, good morning once again to all of you. Yes, students, just 5 minutes. We'll discuss T1 question paper and then I'll begin with my regular class. Yes, students, how you felt the test paper was easy or tough? Yes, Srinivas, how was the test? How was the test paper, Srinivas? No response. Are you there, Srinivas? Okay. Yes, students, can you see the screen? Can you all see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the screen is visible now. Okay. The first question was demonstrate testing and debugging process with an example. So how we do testing and how we do debugging, that process you need to explain with an example, any organization, any program example you can take, and you have to explain the process of testing and debugging. And list out the types of list out the types of testing, explain any three. Which are the types of testing, students? The classifiers which we have seen in the module 1. Do you remember the classifiers which we have seen no in module 1? So you have to list out 5 classifiers I have explained. So those classifiers are nothing but the types of testing. You need to explain the classifiers. You need to explain 3 class out of 5. You have to explain 3 classifiers. With a diagram, explain the working working of testing life cycle, like V diagram in 3 phases. In So what is a V diagram, students? What is a V diagram? Yes, respond. What is a V diagram? What is V diagram, students? Do you remember V diagram? The life cycle which I have explained. In the life cycle of software testing in 3 phases, the error may occur. In remaining 3 phases, we debug the error. Which are those 3 phases, students? Requirement, design, and coding. In 3 phases, we may do a test, we may do errors. So those 3 phases are the error input phases, and once we do testing, then again we have 3 phases, that is isolation, classification of errors, isolation, and debugging. So these 3 phases are the resolving the issues, resolving the error. These 3 phases are the next 3 phases in which we can take out the error, that you need to explain. And differentiate structural and functional testing with an example. What is structural and functional testing? That you have to tell, and you need to explain how the tests for structural testing takes place and how the functional testing takes place with an example. And write a program for a triangle problem with a flowchart diagram. Flowchart diagram I have explained. I told you in this second module, all the problem which have code, which is for which the code has given, those codes are very important. And even for the flowchart, only for triangle problem the flowchart is given. Yes. So you need to explain the triangle problem. You need to write the program for triangle problem, and you have to draw the flowchart for triangle problem. And discuss the steps of SATM machine in detail. How many steps we have, students, in SATM machine? Yes, how many steps we have? Respond. How many steps we have in SATM machine? We have 15 steps. Yes, students, all the steps out of 15 steps, whatever, when we go and visit ATM, what kind of error we may get, and what step and what are the procedure is going to take place. The same thing is there in that 15 steps. I've already explained you. Correct? Is respond no? Do you remember the 15 steps? Students, do you remember the 15 steps? Students, my voice is audible, Spurti? Is my voice is audible, Spurti?
Yes, ma'am.
Why nobody is responding? I'm just discussing the question. I'm not asking any questions. I'm just discussing what answers you need to write. And here, why this discussion is, if you have done any mistake, then you can rectify. You should not do the same mistake in your external exam. And whatever the questions I have given, so everything I have covered in the syllabus, and everything is from the syllabus only. And for everything I have given the PPT also. So this is a case study question, and case study, the 7th is a innovative question, and 8th is a case study question. And I gave you the material for case study question also, and I told you to go through the case study material. And 7th question is, consider an online shopping application. Any online shopping application you can consider, and you have to design a test cases for that. And with a typical test case. What is a typical test case, students? We have learned now what is how to write a typical test case. Yes, do you remember? So there, according to the typical test case format, you have to, whatever the test cases you list out in a online shopping, so you have to write a typical test case for all the test cases, how many test cases you are writing. And this is based on the case study. I have asked the question. So what is error, and define failure according to the above scenario, and what are the prerequisite for software testing, and what are the test plan activities. So this was your test question paper. So how you did your test, students? How you all did your test?
Good, ma'am.
Good.
Ma'am, it was too lengthy, ma'am. The paper, like the answers.
See,
we didn't get time to write.
A little theory, no, it will be like that only, Spurti. And that's why it will be like that. If you compare with the programming language, no, there just you have to write a syntax and one small code snippet also. If you write, then that will be enough. But here, this is little theory, no, so you have, it will be like that only. And any doubt? Okay, I will begin with our regular class. So where we were, students? Which topic we were seeing? Which topic we were seeing? Which topic we were seeing, students? Boundary value analysis. Forgot where we were. So we were in boundary value analysis. Yes, students, to do a testing, the boundary value is very much important. Why the boundary value is very much important? Why the boundary value is very much important? When I was explaining this boundary value introduction, that time, instead of this A and B value, the A value and B value, I have taken day, month, year. The same example which we have taken for the next day problem. Yes, students, do you remember what was the next day problem? What was the next day problem? Please, if you, after writing test also, if you don't answer, if you don't respond, then what I should think? Okay, in next day problem, what we have to do is we have to check each day for each day and for each month and for each year, which day will come next, which month will come next, which year will come next. For day, we have taken a certain value, boundary value. What are the boundary value? Students, when we take a boundary value, there we have to take both minimum and maximum value. Minimum and maximum value that we have to take. You can say that as a minimum range and maximum range also you can say. So here in day, what is the minimum range? 1. What is the maximum range? 31. If you take any month, the minimum date will be 1 and the maximum will be 31. We don't have any month more than 31, students. Correct? No? If this we are checking everywhere, we are checking whether this D is less than 31 or not. If it is more than 31, then what happens? Then month will be incremented and the day value will be assigned to 1. Why the day value will be assigned to 1? Why the day value will be assigned to 1? Because that day will be the first day of next month. Because that day will be the next month. 32. If you take January and if you take 32 day, in the month of January, how many days we have? We have only 31 days. If the count is 32, if the count is coming to 32, then the next day value will be, day tomorrow value will be initialized to 1. Day tomorrow value will be initialized to 1 and the month value will be incremented. If you increment this month value, then which month will come? Which month will come? February. So the same thing here we are doing in boundary value analysis. We are here in the next PPT. I have taken the same example, the next day problem example only I have taken, and here in boundary value, the primary condition is we have to know the minimum range and maximum range. If you know the minimum range and maximum range, only then we are able to write a test cases. If I don't know what is the maximum value, then how to write the test case? Yes, students? Correct, no? If I don't know the minimum range and maximum range, then how to write the test case? And this, next we have seen the Boolean variables. When the word Boolean comes, then what should come to our mind? 0 and 1, or true or false. The value will be either true or false. Here we don't have any range. Here we don't have any range. The value will be either 0 or 1. Minimum 0 and maximum range is 1. True or false. This also we have seen in the last class. And next we have here in this we have a types of testing. So students, in types of testing, before we see the types of testing, what is robustness? Yes, what is robustness? What is the meaning of robust? Yes. What is robust?
Ma'am, strong.
Stronger.
Yeah, ma'am.
And robustness means strong and healthy. So robustness is a strong and healthy. Here we do a robustness testing. Here it is, this robustness testing is, it is simple and it is an extension of boundary value analysis. It is, see, in boundary value what we are checking, students, whether whatever the ranges we are taken, whatever the input value, if my input value is 31, then what we do, we will check whether the input value 31 is within the boundary or not. Yes. Why? Because the boundary values I have assigned to, the boundary value for day I have assigned to minimum is 1 and maximum is 31. This is my boundary value. But my day value is 33. My day value is 33. Is it coming in the boundary value? Yes, student, is it coming in the boundary value? No, it is not coming in the boundary value. If it is not coming in the boundary value, then for this I might have written some code. What code? Maybe the day will be incremented, or you can display a proper error message. You can display the proper error message. The day value should not be more than 31. Yes, when I can write all this, when I know my boundary value. Yes, correct, no students? When I know my boundary value, only then I can write the test case. I can write the proper error message. I can write a, if this condition becomes false, if I am not writing any proper, if I am not writing any error message, then what step it has to take? Whether which some value has to increment or not. Because in the problem next day problem, what we are doing, if the day value, if this condition becomes false, then the month value will, if the then month value is incrementing. Yes, some mathematical steps I am doing. If I am not doing this, if I am not incrementing month value, then I have to display a proper message. I have to display a proper error message. So this robustness testing is it is an extension of boundary value analysis. It is an extension of boundary value analysis, and the most interesting part of this robustness testing is not with the input, but it is expected with the outputs. Here in robustness testing, here we are not worrying much about what input we are giving. Why we are not worrying what input we are giving? When we give proper input, then definitely we get a expected output. Correct, now students? Definitely we'll get a correct expected output. When I'll get the expected output, when I know this, when I know my boundary value, only then I can get a expected output, whatever the output I am expecting. If I don't know the minimum range and maximum range of any input, if I don't know for phone number, I have to give I should not give less than 10 characters. I should not 10 digits, and I should not give more than 10 digits. If I don't know that condition, then without knowing that condition, if I give the input, will I get the expected output? No, I will not get the expected output. So here I have to the boundary value is very much important, and the boundary value is very much important, and based on that only we check the robustness of the program, robustness of the testing. The main value of robust testing is that it forces attention on exception handling, exception handling with the strongly typed languages. Robust testing may be very awkward sometimes. Yes, students, already we know it is when you ask a common man, not a programming, not a person who is working on software, or not a person who knows programming language. If you ask any common man also, he tells that if you tell whether the month will be having 33 days, if you ask him what he tells, it is like asking a very awkward question of students, because everybody knows in 1 month how many days we have. Correct, no? The maximum range, how much we have, everybody knows that, and everybody know in 1 week how many days we have, and everybody know in 1 day how many hours we have. Yes, correct, no? Is it any new thing we can add? Can we modify anything? Can we modify anything? If you take text field as phone number, then we may be in a confusion whether it is a land phone or whether it is a mobile phone. Yes, when we include just a phone number, then as an end user, as a customer, he may, instead of putting maybe some people, they don't like, nowadays everybody is using mobile phone, but some people, if they don't like to use mobile phone, then they may use only land phone. Correct, no? So then the way we write the phone number is same as the way we write the mobile number. Both are same. Both are same, students. No. Yes, I'm asking, the way we write a mobile number and the way we write a phone number, land phone number, both are same. Both the formats are same. Respond. No, both the formats are not same. Both the formats are not same. But if you ask any information related to how many months we have in a day, how many months we have in a year, how many days we have in a month, how many hours we have in a 1 day. So if that question you ask any common man also, he gives a correct answer. To ask that type of question only, we may only feel sometimes awkward. So the main intention of this robustness testing is it gives a proper exception handling message. Yes, students, you know what is exception handling? You know what is exception handling? What is exception handling? In a program, if any error occurs, then we don't want the system or the program should terminate abruptly. We don't want the program should terminate abruptly. It has to give a proper error message. It has to give a proper error message. One example I'll give students. When you divide, the most common example for exception handling is number divide by what? 0. Can you now divide any number by 0? Yes, students, can you divide any number by 0? Respond. So you cannot divide any number by 0. So when you write like this program, then your program will terminate abruptly. Then for this, to tackle this type of exception, we have to give a proper exception handling messages. So here the aim or the intention of this robustness testing to give a proper exception handling messages. We have to give a proper exception handling messages. And if the value outside the range, that result in a runtime error that abrupt the normal execution. Yes, students, one more example I'll give. What is error? What is array? What is array? Array is a collection of homogeneous data type. Yes, array is a collection of homogeneous data type. This is an example for array. Is it right, students? Is it right? Respond. Then the meaning of this is, in a variable a, I can store up to 10 values. I can store up to 10 values. If you give 11th value, will it take, students? Will it take? If you give 11th value, will it takes? Respond. No, it will not take. The program execution will be abrupted. The program execution will be terminated abruptly. So why? Because the maximum range of this variable a is only 10, but I'm giving the 11th value. I'm giving a 11th value. When you give a 11th value, the program execution will be terminated abruptly. To avoid the termination of program abruptly, then what we have to give? We have to give a proper error message to handle the exception. We have to give a proper error message to handle the exception. Students, I'll give one program example. What happens when how the exception handling the error comes. So here we have the robustness testing is shown in a diagram. Yes, students, can you see the diagram? Yes. Is the diagram is clear? Yes, students, can you see the diagram? This diagram. See here, see, this is the range. The minimum range is A, maximum range is B for x-axis, x1 axis. For x2 axis, minimum range is C and maximum range is D. See here, the value is lies between the range here and here in both the cases. If the value is more than D, see, for x2 axis, the maximum range is D. If I give the input more than D, then what happens? The program will terminate abruptly. Now, I don't want my program should terminate abruptly. So what I need to do is, for that I have to add a proper exception handling messages. If I include a exception handling message, then what happens? My program will not terminate abruptly. My program will give a proper error message. I'll show you one program. It will take some time to open, students. So I'll show the program. Next we have worst case testing. See, if we have a party at our home, so we before we start the party, so we make a guest list. Correct, now students? Before that, in the preparation only, while we do a preparation for the party, so we make a guest list and we make a list of menu what I have to give in the party. Yes, all this we do, no? So my expectation is 100 guests may come. 100 guests may come, but if my guest brings his friends or her friends or their relatives, then if the number is, my expected number is 100. If the number of guests comes is 200, then what happens? What happens, students? What happens? Then whatever the menu, whatever the food we have prepared, it is not sufficient. Is it right? Is it right, students? Whatever the food I have prepared for my party, is it sufficient? No. So what? So in that case, what we do? We will think in worst case also. Correct? No. Don't talk about the software testing. Don't talk about related to the software testing. Generally, also in our daily life, also we think about worst case also. Correct, no, students? We also plan for if we get more than 100 guests, then in worst case, what we have to do? Quickly, can we prepare something, or we can order? We can call to some hotel and we can inform them before only. If I get more than 100 guests, then I'll call you and I'll tell you some simple menu. So based on that simple menu, you have to give a delivery to us. Yes, do we do all this, no, students? Yes, Martivaila, respond. Yes, students, can you see the screen? Can you see the program? Can you see the program? Really? Okay. Students, see here, this is a array declaration. This is the array declaration. See here, the array size is not mentioned here. Can you observe here? The array size is not mentioned here. During runtime, you can mention any array size. So this is a dynamic array. You can say this is a dynamic array, but the maximum range is 5. You can give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My maximum boundary value is how much? My maximum boundary value is 5. If I give 6, then what happens? The program will terminate. Yes, correct, no, students? If I give a 6th value, the program will terminate. At least this much you know, no? This basic knowledge you have, no? When we are giving, when the array value is more than the initialized value, more than the whatever the size we have taken, then the program will terminate abruptly. But when you want the program should not terminate abruptly, then what we do is you can add an exception handling in your program. You can add an exception handling in your program. See here, I'll run this program and I'll show you. First, I'll run. Yes, if you are attending class in mobile phone, just please zoom your screen, students, so that you can get because I cannot increase the font size of this output. Here it is asking enter the size of an array. The size of an array is 4 I am giving. See, the max in the program, the maximum size is 5, but here I am giving 4. Yes, it is displaying some output. Correct, no? Yes, students, is it displaying the output? Okay. Now what I do is I give the size 8. I give the size 8. Actually, what should happen now is the program should terminate abruptly. Why? Because I have not given a array value within the range. I have given out of range. Yes, students, if you zoom your screen and if you see, here you can see the array out of bound exception. Array out of bound exception message it is displaying. Why? In the previous input, when I gave the array value 4, was it displaying this statement array out of bound exception? Respond. Display ಆಗ್ತಾ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಈ ಮೆಸೇಜ್? Yes, Sunil. It was that time it was not displaying the error message, but here now I have given this array size is 8. Then now it is Winnie.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, now it is displaying now. Why it is displaying? Because I have given the size more than 5. So the exception is array out of bound exception. How it is displaying, how I have given in the program, you can see. See, students, here I am giving the maximum, I am displaying some array value. So once it takes a row value, it will enter into this loop and it will display the elements in the loop. If you give the range more than 5, then here I have included the exception. What exception? Index out of range exception. Index out of range exception I have included. So because of this exception handling statement, it is displaying this message, array out of bound exception. So this is one way of testing robustness of the program. This is one way of testing robustness of the program. So next we have worst case testing. So in worst case testing, here if the boundary value is only 10, but if I give 11, then what should happen? What will happen? So if whether the program will terminate abruptly, whether I have to give a proper message. So in worst case, what happens? I have to check. So the worst case, the boundary value testing is clearly more thorough in the sense of that boundary value analysis. That test cases are proper subset of worst case test cases. See, the meaning of this is when we write a test case, we have to think in a worst case. Students, if we do any application, then the end user, the people who the end user, you can say, or the users or the common man who uses our application, so when they don't know what type of input they have to give, when they don't know or when they have any confusion what type of input they have to give, then or by mistakenly if they are not giving a proper input, then the program may stop, the program execution may stop abruptly. But I don't want that to happen. So I have to think in a worst case. Before I write any test case, I have to think for the worst case also. I have to assume that whatever the application I develop, I have to assume the person who may not know how to use computer, if that person also comes and uses your application, he should also be in a position to use your application. Correct? Now, because we don't know when we develop a program, when we develop application for online exam form filling, the same exam form is filled by SSLC students, fifth standard students and degree students in the same form. A student, just I'm giving one example. If the same application is filled by 5th standard student, SSLC students and degree student, the degree student, assume that the assume that the fifth standard student, they don't know how to use computer. They don't now, in the first standard only they have computer subject in their syllabus, in their curriculum, but here just we are assuming. So if the fifth standard student, if he doesn't know how to use computer, if he also comes and use your application, he should be in a position to write, he should be in a position to use your application. If he has done any mistake, then proper error messages it has to display. The program, the execution of the program or the execution of the application should not terminate abruptly. That's why here a proper subset, if necessary, you have to give a proper sub test cases also. Already we are writing a test cases based on the boundary value. If it is necessary, we have to include a subset of the test cases also. If they do this mistake, then what should happen? If they are not able to make out what error they are getting, what error messages they are getting, then again any alternative solution, if we have that also, you can include in the program, in your application. So we have to think in a worst case, and we have to develop a application, whatever the application we develop. Worst case testing follows the generalization pattern we saw for boundary value analysis. It also has a same limitation, particularly those related to independence. So the worst case has a same limitation for the other different cases, but whatever the application we write, we develop, so we have to keep worst case in mind, and we have to develop the application. Students, if you see this diagram, see the previous diagram in the boundary value, in the robustness testing, if you see the values are within the boundary only. The values are within the boundary only. But when you see this diagram, when you see the worst diagram, yes, the value, if we are giving more than the boundary value also, the program has to run. It should not terminate abruptly. The proper correct messages we have to give in our program. The proper error messages we have to give in a program. Okay, students, here I stop. You take down today's assessment question, students. All of you take down the today's assessment question. Write the boundary values for boundary values for online registration form. Write the boundary values for online registration form. A student, here in online registration form, whatever the fields you take, whatever the fields you are taking, for each field you have to write the boundary values. For each field you have to write the boundary values. In next day problem statement, there we have day, month, year. For day also we have a boundary value, for month also we have a boundary value, for year also we have a boundary value. So similarly, in a registration form, whatever the fields you are taking, for each field you have to write a boundary value. For each field you have to write a boundary value. Yes, understood my question, students? Assessment question. Understood the assessment question? Any doubt? Any doubt in the assessment question? So this assessment you have to upload today by 3 o'clock. Today by 3 o'clock you have to upload the assessment. Nobody is absent for the test, no students? Okay, answer your attendance. Asta,
Present, ma'am.
Abhinav, Abhinav, Aishwarya,
Present, ma'am.
Ambrish,
Amabino present.
Yes, ma'am.
what you were doing?
It's lag. My phone is lag.
Anu,
Present, ma'am.
Arbaz, Arbaz,
Yes, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Present,
Arjun,
ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Ashok, Ashok,
Present, ma'am.
Benita,
Present, ma'am.
Bhargavi,
Present, ma'am.
Bhavisha,
Present, ma'am.
Chaitra,
Present, ma'am.
Dev Malo, Dev, Diksha,
Present,
Deepika,
ma'am. Present,
Diksha, Deepika L,
Present, ma'am.
Deepika M,
Present, ma'am.
Murli,
Present, ma'am.
Gangubai,
Present, ma'am.
Gudia,
Present, ma'am.
Harshit,
Present, ma'am.
Singh, Singh, Ginger, Kavya,
Present, ma'am.
Kishore,
Present, ma'am.
Lata,
Yes, ma'am.
Manisha,
Present, ma'am.
Manjunath,
Yes, ma'am.
Nayana,
Present, ma'am.
Neelanjan, Neelanjan, Nishant,
Present, ma'am.
Pavitra,
Present, ma'am.
Maithili,
Present, ma'am.
Priyanka,
Present, ma'am.
Pavan,
Present, ma'am.
Akash,
Present, ma'am.
Rajeshwari,
Present, ma'am.
Rakesh,
Yes, ma'am.
Ramya,
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi, Rashmi, Ravi Shankar,
Yes, ma'am.
Rizwan,
Present, ma'am.
Vishal,
Present, ma'am.
Savita, Savita,
Yes, ma'am.
Shruti,
Present, ma'am.
Sneha,
Yes, ma'am.
Purti,
Present, ma'am.
Srinidhi, Srinidhi,
Yes, ma'am. Present.
Srinidhi is not there. Sunil,
Present, ma'am.
Srinivas, there.
Ma'am,
Srinivas, Vaishnavi,
Present, ma'am.
Vinny,
Present, ma'am.
Ma'am, Arbaz is present.
I know. I told no that time only I said okay. Srinidhi absent, no? Srinidhi is not there. Neelanjan, Singh, Junjar Singh.
Present, ma'am.
Singh avage answer madilappa. Dev. Dev is there. Hey, students, any doubt in today's assessment question? Whatever the problems ranges boundary values we have taken in the previous next day problem for leap year, for simple interest, and for triangle problem. For triangle problem, what are the range? What are the boundary value? It should not have less than the triangle value should not have less than 3, and it should not have greater than 4. It should not have less than 3 and should not have greater than 4. And if you take phone number, it should not have less than 10 and greater than 10. So similarly, you have to write a boundary value for registration form. Whatever the fields you take, you have to give for name also. You can specify some range. It should not have a minimum. It should not have less than 2 characters. It should not have. Do you have any name with the 2 letters? AB. Do you have any names like with the 2 letters? No. So for name you can take a boundary value. Should not have less than 2 and you should not have greater than 10 or 15 also you can give. So like this you have to write a boundary value for registration form. Whatever the fields you are taking, students, for everything you have to mention the boundary value. For all the values you have to mention the boundary values. Students, clear with the assessment question now? No doubt? No doubt in the assessment question, or you have any doubt? See, if you have any doubt in the assessment question, now only you ask me, because before 3 o'clock you have to send me the assessment in GCR. I'll send you the link. In that link you have to send me before 3 o'clock.
Ma'am, can we send after 5? Like,
why?
Because we have continuous classes.
Till what time?
Like after your class, lab is there.
Afternoon
first period is there. Then Aparna ma'am told some meeting is there at 3 o'clock.
Today 3 o'clock. Okay. Then I'll schedule a due time. I'll give 5 o'clock. Then okay, fine. 5:30 is okay for you, because you have meeting at 3 o'clock now. The meeting may get over by 3:30 or 4 o'clock. Then 5:30. Before 5:30, you have to send me the assessment to GCR. Is it fine, students?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, students. See you in the next class.